The Galactic Unity Academy's training grounds fell silent the moment Vex's snarl echoed across the courtyard. 23 cadets from 17 different species stood frozen, their various appendages and limbs locked in positions of shock. Some reached instinctively for weapons that weren't there. Others triggered biological defense mechanisms, chromatophores flashing warning colors, quills extending. Arya didn't even flinch. The human woman sat cross-legged on the sun-warmed stone, watching the Cravathi cub with sparkling eyes. Vex crouched low, his obsidian scales rippling with the iridescent purples and reds that signaled aggression in his species. At 6 months old, he was already the size of an earth wolf, with razor-sharp claws and teeth designed to puncture reinforced hides. His tail lashed behind him, and his four eyes focused entirely on Arya with predatory intensity. The other cadets knew what was coming. The Cravathi were apex predators, their entire evolutionary history written in blood and dominance. Even as cubs, they tested boundaries and established hierarchies. Vex's caretaker, a massive adult Cravathi named Thorak, had been called away, leaving explicit instructions that no one was to interact with the cub during his absence. No one except Arya had ignored those instructions. "Vex," she said softly, "is that your scary face?" The cub's snarl intensified, saliva dripping from his fangs. He took a step forward, haunches tensing. Several cadets backed away. Then, Arya did something that would be analyzed in xenopsychology classes for years to come. She snarled back. It wasn't perfect. Human vocal cords weren't designed for the subsonic rumble of a true Cravathi threat display, but it was close enough. Arya's lips pulled back from her teeth, and she produced a growl from deep in her chest. Her shoulders hunched forward, mimicking Vex's aggressive stance with uncanny accuracy. For 3 heartbeats, nothing happened. Then Vex's ears flicked forward in surprise. His tail stopped lashing. The aggressive coloration faded from his scales, replaced by confused swirls of blue and green. And Arya laughed. It was a bright, genuine sound that shattered the tension. She reached out slowly, and Vex's aggressive posture melted away entirely. The cub bounded forward and crashed into her with enough force to knock most species unconscious. Arya absorbed the impact, wrapping her arms around him as Vex made a sound between a purr and a chirp. "Good boy," she murmured, scratching behind his ears. Very intimidating. The courtyard remained silent, but now it was tinged with disbelief. She challenged him during a dominance display, a Talvarian cadet said, his crystalline structure humming with confusion. That should have triggered his hunt-kill response. "Humans are prey species," a Velocian added. "They shouldn't even recognize predator threat displays, let alone respond appropriately." "Look at her technique," countered Shira, one of 3 Cravathi cadets at the academy. She matched his posture, his vocalization, his challenge. She didn't submit, but she didn't escalate. She showed Vex she understood his language and wasn't afraid. But why? The Velocian pressed. What evolutionary pressure creates such behavior in a prey species? Thorak chose that moment to return. The adult Cravathi stood nearly 3 meters tall, his scales deep crimson. He was a decorated veteran, currently serving as the Academy's tactical combat instructor. He took one look at Arya with Vex sprawled across her lap, and his expression cycled through surprise, concern, and then respect. "How long has she been with my son?" Thorak asked. 15 minutes, Instructor," Shira answered.
Vex initiated a dominance challenge.
The human responded appropriately. Thorak approached slowly. "You understand what could have happened? If you had responded incorrectly, Vex's instincts would have overridden his training." Arya shrugged, still scratching Vex's ears. "He's a baby testing boundaries. I've got 3 younger brothers back on Earth. Same energy, just with fewer teeth. Your brothers challenged you with predatory threat displays. They tried to establish dominance in their own ways. Humans do it too, we're just more subtle about it," she grinned. "Besides, Vex and I have been playing together for weeks. He knows I'm not prey. We're pack." The word hung in the air. Pack. A concept the Cravathi held sacred. Thorak studied her, then made a sound that might have been laughter. "You humans. I read your species file when you joined the Unity. Your world has more apex predators per square kilometer than any other inhabited planet. You evolved alongside creatures that saw you as food. You had no natural armor, no claws, no venom. By all logic, you should have been extinct. But we're not," Arya said simply. "No, because you did something extraordinary. Thorax's expression held genuine admiration. You looked at the predators of your world and said, I will understand you. I will learn your language. And then I will make you my friends. He gestured at the assembled cadets. Most species evolved as either predator or prey. They learned to hunt or to hide. But humans? Humans learn to do both. And then you learn something neither predators nor prey do well. You learn to play with your fears. To take the things that should terrify you and turn them into games, into friendships, into family. Vec swiped at Arya's hand with one paw, claws sheathed, inviting more play. Arya laughed and gently pushed him off her lap, getting to her feet. Same time tomorrow? She asked the cub. Vec's scales rippled with excited yellows. He chirped his agreement. As Arya walked past the other cadets toward the dormitories, she returned to her instructor. Humans are strange. Thorax's laugh rumbled across the courtyard. They're survivors, cadet. There's a difference. He looked down at Vec, already curled up in Arya's sunny spot. My son has chosen his first battle companion. Humans have been doing this for millennia, looking at creatures designed to kill them and seeing potential friends instead. Is that wise? Asked a Horthian cadet. Wise? Perhaps not. But it's very human. Thorax's eyes gleamed. On their world, nearly everything was designed to kill them. So they learned to kill it first or befriend it or both at once. They looked at wolves and made them into dogs. They took fear and turned it into fascination. The other species in the unity fear predators, humans. Humans collect them. The cadets dispersed slowly, each processing the lesson. They all understood now. Humanity's place in the galaxy wasn't defined by their lack of natural weapons. It was defined by their refusal to recognize when they should be afraid. In his sunny spot, Vec dreamed of tomorrow's play session, his scales flickering content blues. He'd found his human, his pack sister, his friend who snarled back and turned challenges into games. The galaxy might not understand humans yet, but Vec did, and that was enough.